I joined Ananda Marga in 1963. But before I joined Ananda Marga, I was searching. From the very young age, I had a very strong desire to see God. I was very, very curious. And as I grew in age, this desire to see God became stronger and stronger. So when I was only about 8 years old, I started to go visit temples, Hindu temples. I used to go with my mother because my mother used to be very religious, and she used to go to the temples to do worship. So I used to go with her, and I used to help her in the worship of idol. And then I was wondering if that is really how God looked like in the idol in the temples. Then I used to see how my mother gave so much food, money and all that to any sadhu who used to come in the orange race in my house. And she was very much impressed by these sadhus. Then I also used to see how she invited the priest to do worship of so-called Satnarayan Bhagwan that she believed in my house, and give him offerings, give him money, clothes, new clothes and all that. And she used to tell me I should also do that because that will help me to see God. But I followed her for some time, but I did not feel anything. I didn't have any realization. So then I started asking questions to my father, to my uncle, to my grandfather about God. Where is God? Can you see God? And all that. They answered me, but I was never satisfied. Then I read in one of the books that in ancient times the rishis do meditation, sadhana in the forest, and they used to see God. They used to sit in sadhana for days and days and go into deep samadhi and feel the presence of God, see the God by their own eyes. So one time I left home and I was searching and searching and searching God. I couldn't see anything. Then I sat down under one tree and I started doing meditation. Of course, I didn't know how to do meditation correct way, but whatever I knew, I did doing meditation. I stayed one night, 2 days in the forest without eating, only drinking water, and really hoping that I will be able to see God. God will appear in front of me. But nothing happened. I was very frustrated, very disappointed. And he came back. Then I came to the conclusion that God does not really exist. Because I was studying in the high school, I was studying science subjects, physics, chemistry and all that. And science has never proven the existence of God. So I thought God is only an imagination of human beings. It does not really exist. It is not really a reality. So I became agnostic. I did not believe that God existed. Then, at the time I was studying in the high school, and I was I was with my uncle, because I finished my school in my village, and there was no high school. So my father sent me with my uncle, who had a government job, and he always was having job in the cities, so that I can go to good school. But my uncle, because of the government job, he was transferred from one place to another place, sometimes after 2 years, 3 years, like that. So he was transferred, and I came to a new place, completely new place. The name of the place is Dada. It is very near Jamalpur. And I enrolled in the high school, and I had new friends, new classrooms, new school, new neighbor, everything new. I was feeling very strange for, you can say, for some months. But I was there. Then I made some friends amongst our classmates, and one of my classmates, he was doing meditation. He was doing Ananda Marga meditation. So he told me about Ananda Marga meditation, and he asked me, if you want to try, I can introduce you to the teacher who can teach you how to do meditation. So I told him, why you do meditation? He said, God is not something that you should be satisfied just by believing in the God, but you have to feel God. You have to experience God. I said, are you sure that God exists? He said, yes, I am sure God exists. So I asked him, can you show me the God? He said, no, I cannot show you the God. You have to see the God inside you. I said, no. I don't think God exists. It is only an imagination of the human mind. It is a creation of the human mind. And then he kept trying to convince me that God exists and I should do meditation. And I was trying to convince him that God does not exist and meditation is the best of time. So it went on for 6 months. Then one day he told me, I would like that you meet our coordinator here, Ananda Marga coordinator, whom they called unit secretary. And you can ask him any question. He can answer your questions. So I said, okay. So one day we went to the Jagrati. There was a Jagrati there. And he introduced me to the unit secretary, who was a labor inspector. And a gentleman in his middle ages, not an old man. So I asked him many questions about God, and I said, how can you prove the existence of God and all that? And he said, to practice meditation, you don't have to believe in God. You accept God as a hypothesis. And then you experiment and then you verify. So I thought, this is very scientific. You accept God as a hypothesis, and then you experiment, and then you verify. So he told me, I can accept God as a hypothesis, but how do I experiment? He said, you do experimentation in the laboratory of your body, then the laboratory of your body and mind. And that experimentation is sadhana, is meditation. So you have to learn how to do the experimentation, and then you do the experimentation in your mind and in your body. So then after some time, when Acarya came, I got initiated and I started doing meditation. As I was told, I was doing meditation twice a day, every morning and evening, 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening. I used to attend also Dhan Chakra regularly. And Then I met many other Margis, and doing the Dhantakra, sometimes some Margis shout, some Margis laugh, some Margis cry. And sometimes the Dhantakra was really very disturbing. And I thought, these people, they are out of their mind. Why they shout? Why they cry? Why they laugh? And then, as time went on, I did meditation. I was doing meditation for 1 month, then for 1 month and a half, and I was not really feeling anything, having any kind of unusual experience or anything like that. So I started having doubt. But the unit secretary had told me that you have to do meditation at least for 3 months. So I said no, because I promised you I will continue doing my meditation. I finished 2 months. Then after 2 months, one day I was doing meditation in my room in the morning, and I closed the door, and I was doing meditation, and then slowly and gradually I felt, oh, somebody is overpowering me. Somebody is trying to control me. I was getting lost. I thought I was going to die. I was very afraid. So I resisted and resisted. But the energy was so strong, the vibration was so strong that I got lost in it. And after that, I didn't know what was happening. I didn't hear anything, I could not see anything, I could not feel anything. The only thing I was feeling was, I was so happy, so blissful, as if I was in a planet where there is only bliss and bliss and bliss and joy and Ananda. And I was lost in it, I was absorbed in it. I was not aware of the time. And it went on and on and on. But after some time, maybe after about 2 hours and some minutes, slowly and gradually, I was becoming aware. And then again, I resisted. I didn't want to become aware. I wanted to remain in that blissful state for a longer and longer period. But again, some power, something happened, some energy overcome me, and I became fully conscious. And then I realized, oh, I started my meditation at 8 o'clock, and now it is 10 past. So I opened the door when my brother was knocking the door. And then when I opened the door, he asked me, what happened? You were sleeping for the 2 hours? We were knocking and you were not responding. We were worried what happened to you. We were going to break the door. Then I just told him that I was doing something and I didn't want to be disturbed. So then the next day I went to the Jagruti and I talked to the unit secretary and I told him my experience. And he told me that what you experience is a very macroscopic fraction of what God is. God is the state of Anandam, He is the state of bliss. And you have experienced a bit of this bliss, a bit of this Anandam. Continue your sadhana, you will experience more and more. And one day you will become a fully realized soul. You will realize God 100%. I was very inspired. I became very active Margi. We bought a land. I was just a student, but we collected money somehow. We bought a land. We started constructing Jagrati. And then the unit secretary sometimes used to tell me some Baba's stories. So I became very interested to see Baba. And then he told me that Baba is staying only in Jamalpur, which is only about 3 hours by train from Dada. So I developed a desire to see Baba. And as I continued meditation, this desire to see Baba became stronger and stronger. Then in the school, there were many students who were doing meditation. So I talked to my other Margi brothers, my classmates, and I told them, should we go one day and see Baba? They were all also very inspired. They said, yes. So when there was going to be a long holidays, we decided the date. This particular date we will move. We will go and see Baba and stay in the Jagrati for a few days in Jamalpur and come back. So we were about 9 students from the high school, from different grades. So when we decided that we will go on this particular date, actually I didn't have money to travel. Then I was thinking what to do, where to get the money. I was thinking to borrow from my colleagues, but then I realized, they were also students like me, they didn't also have any extra money. So I thought, let me see what happens. If Baba really wants me to see him, he will do something. So, I was staying in a hostel because when I was in the last year in the high school, my uncle was transferred. And if I transferred to the place he went, I will lose 1 year. So he let me stay in the same school, in the boarding house, and he used to send me some money every month for my maintenance. But I was there, so sometimes, time to time, my father used to send me some money, just some additional money as my pocket money, so that I will not face any financial difficulty. So just before a few days, we were about to go to Jamalpur. The money order came, and my father had sent me some money. So I had enough money now to go to Jamalpur, to stay in the Jagrati and come back. So we were all ready to go on that date. We were very excited, very motivated that finally we will be able to have darshan of our Guru. But just one day before, one of our classmates, who was a Margi, who has also decided to go with us, became very sick. He had a very high flu. His body was very hot. So now we thought what to do, because we cannot leave him alone, because he is also a boarding. He's just, he's so sick, and how we can leave him and then go and to Jamalpur? That will not be nice. Who will take care of him? So we were thinking what to do. Then I thought in my mind, I had heard that for Baba nothing is impossible. He can make a sick person a healthy person in a second. So I talked to my friend. I was the closest one to him from the group, and I told him, let's go. Even though you are sick, let's go. We are there with you, and maybe Baba will bless you and you will be fine. So he also took a decision. So we all went to the Malpur, and we arrived in the Jagrati. We met Baba, we did Sashtang Pranam. Baba asked us from where we are and who we are, and how long we stay in the Jagrati, and what we are studying, where we are studying, and all that. Then those days, every Marga has the right to have personal contact with Baba at least once. So next day, in the morning, because Baba used to go to Jagrati before he goes to work in his office every morning. So next morning we all line up for personal contact. So first of all, 3 of my classmates, they went, they had personal contact. We came back and they all sat in meditation, and they were all doing long meditation, and I observed they were very deeply concentrated and as if they were really enjoying meditation. Then come the turn of this, my friend, my classmate who was having high flu. So before he went inside Baba's room, I touched him. He still had a very high flu and he was really feeling sick. He went, he did personal contact to Baba. And then Baba asked him, how are you, who is your Acarya, how long have you been doing meditation and all that. And he answered all the questions of Baba. And then Baba told him that, you have come to this world for a mission and you have to do something for the suffering humanity. And then Baba asked him to come closer. Baba touched his head and blessed him. And Baba said, go my son, you are now blessed and you do something for the suffering humanity. So he came back, I touched him, and his body was normal, he had no more flu. But because after that it was my number, so I went and did Sashtang Pranam to Baba. And then Baba asked me who is my Acarya, how long I have been doing meditation, what I am studying and all that. And then Baba said, oh, you have done some mistakes in the past, but I will not punish you because your mistakes are not very serious. So, I told Baba, no, Baba, you should punish me. Then Baba took out his stick, and as if he was going to beat me very hard, but he just touched the stick. But then he cut my ear and he really turned the ear very, very hard. It was very painful. And he said, you should not have committed this mistake, you should not have committed that mistake. But you promise from now on, you will be an ideal human being. And you have to do something for the neglected humanity. And then Baba touched me on my Trikuti, and I was lost for a while. And then Baba touched me again, and I was aware. And then he told me, remember. He told me in Hindi, जाओ धर्म प्रचार के द्वारा संस्कारों का क्षय करो. Go and by propagating dharma, destroy your samskaras. I did not understand what he meant, but I never forgot this sentence. And then I also returned and I sat in meditation, and I was so deep in meditation. I never had that kind of meditation before in my life. It was very intense. I was almost in samadhi, not 100%, but in samadhi, very blissful. I was enjoying the meditation 100%. And then we stayed in the Jagriti a few days. We used to have Baba's darshan every morning and every evening. And it was a very, very, you can see, spiritual experience. First spiritual experience, and very, very rewarding. Then we went back, and I went to the unit secretary again. I met him and I told him what happened. And he said, Baba told you indirectly that you should become a WT, you should become a full-timer. Those days, we were not using the word Dada, Acharya. So you should become a full-time worker. But I did not believe him that one day I will use the Orient dress and I will become a sannyasi. I could not imagine that it will ever happen in my life, because I had a dream. I wanted to study physics, I wanted to do MA, and I wanted to become a lecturer of physics in a college. And I continued that dream until I finished the high school. I went to the college, and then there was a DMC in Patna, the capital of Bihar state, and I attended the DMC. And after attending the DMC, my mind completely changed, and I decided I want to become a whole-timer. So those days, if you wanted to become a whole-timer, you had to get a letter of recommendation from your Acharya or from the unit secretary. But the unit secretary was not there. He has gone to his wife's village. So I decided to go to his wife's village. I met him and I told him I wanted to go for WT training. He was very, very happy because he has been always inspiring me. He gave me the letter of recommendation. Then I went to Jagriti. I met Acarya Sumitananda Avt, who was the Jagriti manager. And then he asked me how old I am, how far I have studied and all that. Then I told him I was only 15 years. He said, no, you should not go for whole-timer training because you are underage. Do you have permission from your parents? I said, no. So he said, if you want to become whole-timer, you are underage, you have to get a written permission from your parents. I said, my parents will never give me permission to go for WT training. But I really want to go for WT training. And then he tried to discourage me, and then I told him, the trainer in Varanasi is my Acharya. And I have already contacted him, and he said, you come. And I also told him I was underage, and he said, no problem, you come. Then Acharya Vedananda gave me a letter, and with that letter I went to Varanasi. and it was in 1965 I started my duty training. Those days you didn't have to stay years. Only after staying there for 3 months, I passed the exam, I became Acharya, and I was posted. So when I had personal contact with Baba, in the first personal contact, I realized that Baba is the Supreme Father. He is the Paramapurusa. He is my everything. And I felt so much love from him, so much kindness from him, and I felt tremendous attraction towards him. And from that time on, I had decided that I will do anything and everything for my Guru. Even if it were necessary, I will dedicate my life unto his lotus feet, and I will serve the neglected humanity. So, as Baba has said in my personal contact, जाओ धर्म प्रचार के द्वारा संस्कारों का क्षय करो. Baba, I worked in India only for about 4 years. Then Baba posted me in Philippines, in South America, and I initiated more than 3,000 people in the Philippines. And some of them became whole-timers. They are still whole-timers. They are Acharyas, they are Avadhutas, Avadhutikas. Then Baba sent me to Australia, where there was no Ananda Marga. I started Ananda Marga in Australia, in New Zealand, in Fiji. And then I continued my journey so far. Baba has sent me to more than 50 countries around the world. And I have initiated more than 5,000 people. Baba used me, Baba utilized my body, mind and soul to create many ideological margis, adaptees, devotees, started Ananda Marga in many new countries, started new units, and now I feel that I have fulfilled the mission of my life, that I have really realized what Baba wanted me to realize. I really did what Baba wanted me to do, and I will continue doing what Baba wants me to do, and that is to create an ideal human society, to create a Sadvipada society. This is when I was working in the Manila in Philippines. I arrived in Philippines on August 9, 1969, and it was already 1971. And those days it was not necessary for any Dada to go and report every 3 months or 6 months. And of course it was not also possible. And I was alone in Philippines. And I started missing Baba. So in 1971, whenever I did my dhyan, I was telling Baba, either you should come or you should call me. Either you should come or you should call me. So, from Manila I went to Babao to do prachar. And then came Amavasya. And I forgot my apparatus in Manila. I brought the apparatus from India, but I forgot in Manila. So I sent a telegram. Those days there were no mobile phone. Also, normal phone was very difficult. So I asked them that they should send my bag, this Kapalik bag. So they sent my Kapalik bag. And then I took this bag and went to the cemetery and did my meditation. And when I came back, I opened the bag again and saw that there was a telegram. Report to headquarters immediately. I was so happy, so happy. I said, Baba, you listened to my request, to my demand. So I collected money and I got the ticket. And I went to see Baba. That was in 1971, just before Baba went to prison. I had personal contact with Baba. And then Baba told me, I am giving you a job and you have to do this job. And the job was that Baba had posted one Dada as SS of Sydney sector. Those days it was called Sydney sector. And one SS of Hong Kong sector. That was the Far East. Taiwan, China, Japan, Hong Kong, and all those countries. And Sydney sector was Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, and all those small islands, Papua New Guinea, and all that. So I was wondering, how can I do that? I had no money. I had only return ticket to go back, and some extra money. So I brought these two Dadas to Delhi, contacted a travel agency, and I asked the travel agency to arrange the passport for them. And I told them after they have arranged the passport, they should contact me. So after 2 months they contacted me. By the time I had collected enough money, and I sent them the invitation letter so that they get the visa for the Philippines. And I sent them PTA, those is called prepaid ticket advice. Means you pay the money in Manila and they will get the ticket in Delhi. They got the ticket and they came to Philippines. They stayed with me for about 2 months. Then first of all, I brought the Dada, who was supposed to be the SS from Hong Kong sector. I went with him to Hong Kong and I stayed with him about 10 days. We did some prachar. And after a long search, we found a guest house and I rented a room for Dada to stay there for 1 month. Because Hong Kong was so expensive. We were living in a very small room, cannot see the sun, all day, light on, dark, very congested island. But we had to do our mission. So we had one newspaper interview also. Our photo came and some people contacted us. So I let Dada stay in that guest house. I gave him some money and I told him, now you are on your own. And then the other Dada, because he was posted as the SS of Sydney sector, he applied for a visa for Australia and he was given only 1 week visa. So he told me, Dada, what I will do in 1 week. You better inform the headquarters. So I sent a telegram explaining the situation. Then after a few days they answered me that now Dada Advaitananda, who was posted in as SS of Sydney sector, will become the SS of Manila sector, and me, Sumitananda, is posted as SS of Sydney sector. So I handed over the charge to Dada Advaitananda. I still stayed, and then I applied for visa for Australia. They gave me 1 month. I was very happy. Then I arranged my ticket, and I left for Australia after 2 months. Many Margis came to see me off. They gave me a party, and they all wished me. They really didn't want to go. Many were crying and all that. And so I left and then went to Sydney. I didn't know anyone, but by Baba's grace, I made some few contacts within 1 month, and I was able to start Ananda Marga in Australia. This is all happened by Baba's grace. This was all planned by Baba. You can remember how Baba called me back to India, and how Baba inspired me to establish these 2 Dadas in 2 sectors, and he graced me so that I could start Ananda Marga in Australia, New Zealand and Fiji.